My name is Kerry Jackson, and I'm a broadcaster on WGSV Radio. My connection to Rick is that the radio station has played a lot of Rick's music through the years, and of course we had the responsibility of conveying the sad news of the plane crash when it occurred. A lot of happy times. I've played a lot of Rick's music, a lot of his records through the years, beginning with the early ones when he was on the Ozzie and Harriet show, carrying all the way through to the latter part of his career when, well, for example, when he had the hit Garden Party, and our radio station played that one an awful lot. Oh, I grew up with the adventures of Ozzie and Harriet on the television, and I was a fan of that and a fan of Rick. A lot of people didn't realize what a great musician he was, and he was surrounded by excellent musicians on the recordings. And yes, I was definitely a fan of Rick's music all through the years up until the later time. We learned that Rick was coming to Guntersville a couple of weeks before the concert actually happened. We promoted the event on the radio station, and we knew the owners of the nightclub. We learned that Rick was coming to Guntersville a couple of weeks before it actually occurred. We promoted the event. We knew John Branham and, of course, Pat Upton, the owners of the nightclub where the concerts were going to take place, and they had us talk about it on the radio, and we ran some commercials about that to inform the citizens of Guntersville that they were coming. I didn't get to attend. I was the designated babysitter at my house. My wife attended and thoroughly enjoyed the concert, but I didn't get to go, even though we talked about it a lot and promoted it on the radio. Well, the impact that it left on the town of Guntersville was an unexpected impact. It was a twist of fate. We had expected it to be a very positive occurrence. Rick Nelson coming to the little town of Guntersville was quite an event. The way it turned out, though, was totally unexpected, and we're part of a legacy now, but in a way that we'd prefer not to be.
Where were you when you learned of Rick's death?
I was the designated babysitter that night. I was at home with the television on, and I had CNN on the television that night. They broke into the programming to put a bulletin on the air that said that a plane had crashed. That caught my attention, and they weren't sure that Rick was aboard at the first bulletin, but it soon became apparent that Rick Nelson and his fiancée and his band were passengers on the plane that had crashed. So I heard about it on CNN that night. The mood was a total shock throughout the entire community. No one expected that to happen. They thought that Rick would be traveling with his band back to do a New Year's Eve concert in Texas, and everything would be fine. It was the total opposite, and the town was in shock for days afterwards. Rick is remembered as part of the family for so many people, not only in Guntersville, but around the country, around the world. Actually, Rick grew up in our household. So many people tuned into the Ozzie and Harriet program when Rick was 11 years old, and they watched him grow up, become a teenage idol, and even get married on the show. So people remember Rick as part of their family and part of the weekly meeting that we had with Rick every week.